Jesse, I just wanted to mention, we know that the Department of Homeland Security is communicating with Catholic churches, pregnancy centers, and telling them to be prepared for the night of rage by these pro-abortion groups. And I have to say this. I heard President Biden just today say that do not do the violence, so I appreciate that. But I want him to also make sure that we inflict a penalty for people doing any violence, that we don't just let them destroy buildings. So I hope the talk is, cheap. It exceeds the demand. Let's make sure that if they do violence here, that they pay a price for that. So that was the only comment I wanted to
I'll tell you why I think it's all talk. Because
tell me, Jess.
For 2 years,
yes,
the last 2 years of Donald Trump, the left called it the summer of rage. They had, I think it was 274 attacks and riots and burnings in different locations around the U.S.
Yeah.
Terry, virtually nobody's been prosecuted.
Yeah. See, that's the point, Jess.
The point is, and it happened mostly in blue states.
Yeah.
Under Democratic governors and district attorneys, nobody was prosecuted. I'm going to say something. It's painful, but it's painfully obvious.
Yeah.
Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and now we have Ruth Sent Us, another group.
Yeah.
And Jane's Revenge. Mm-hmm. Okay, to our male, to our female. These are all young college leftists who are malformed in their understanding of their meaning and purpose of life. And what they are, Terry, it's very quiet. They don't say anything. They are the foot soldiers for the Democrat Party.
Yes.
This is the way they operate. It's for example, this is what Hitler did. Hitler got to power by getting all the anarchist young German college kids in his day and age,
right.
And they were called the brown shirts. They would go and intimidate, just like they're doing at Kavanaugh's house and at Amy Coney Barrett's house, stand in front, shout, threaten you.
Right.
They'd go storm meetings, beat people up, their opposition. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Ruth Sent Us, and Jane's Revenge are the foot soldiers for the Democrat Party. They're paid by billionaires. They will be activated. So I'm telling everybody, watch your back.
Yeah.
Watch your six. Be careful.
Yeah.
Travel in pairs.
Yes. Smart.
And make sure your primary duty is the protection of your family.
Amen. Jesse, just a quick note. One of our listeners just texted me. They were listening to Glenn Beck and Buck Sexton, and they both acknowledged that the Catholic Church and Catholics and other pro-life groups for their faithful protection of the unborn throughout these 49 and a half years that we never gave up. So our Protestant brothers are acknowledging that, I'm not going to say every Catholic church, but you know what, Jess? It's true. We led the charge on this in the sense that serious-minded Catholics had been willing to lay down their lives for this, and many of them did. And so I just wanted to say thanks to Glenn Beck and to Buck Sexton for acknowledging the role the Catholic Church had in this.
I want to just put out a message from Father Frank Pavone. He just sent it out right now.
Great. Yeah, I got it.
For immediate release.
Yep.
It's entitled Gratitude, Elation,
yep.
and Resolve at Priest for Life.
Yep.
By Father Frank Pavone, the National Director of Priest for Life, released today. He says this: "This is a day I've worked towards for 47 years, and I'm so grateful," said Father Pavone. "Grateful to President Trump for appointing justices who respect both the U.S. Constitution and the sanctity of human life. Grateful for the work of the pro-life movement for never losing sight of the goal.
Amen.
And grateful to God for allowing this day. We still have work to do, but this decision will save countless lives." Right. Now you have the executive director, Janet Morana. She says, "I'm so happy for my good friend Norma McCorvey. May she rest in peace. We promised her on the day she died that we would never stop fighting to end Roe. The tragic decision made in her name. I'm also happy to think about all the women whose lives will not be ruined by making the terrible choice for abortion. And I'm happy for the babies who will be spared a brutal death. Thank you to the Supreme Court for protecting infant life." This is all from Priest for Life.
Yeah, and I thank them. And you know what, Jesse? I think the reason that you and I speak out so boldly for the pro-life, and whether it's the Democratic Party or Republican Party, it makes no difference to us. It's the policy that we're supporting. You know what, folks? And if the policy says save lives, we're there, okay? And so this is why sometimes people will say, Jesse, knock it off. Your politics are too much. It ain't my politics. It's my morality that I want to implement.
Terry, and here's where a lot of Catholics, they don't realize that they're Masons. I'll tell you why.
That's a good point.
Yeah, a lot of liberal Catholics are Masons, and some of them may be listening to the show, and they may not like what I'm saying, but I'm going to give you a little history lesson. This whole separation of church and state is not Catholic. In fact, Pope Leo XIII and other popes have specifically condemned that notion. Specifically, you cannot separate church and state because the church informs the state when it comes to moral decisions. Now, who's the one that introduced the separation of church and state? That's a Masonic idea.
Yep.
Those are the Masons in high places in this country. Many of the founding fathers were Protestants and Masons. They're the ones that inserted the separation of church and state, though it's not written in any of the official documents, the Declaration, the Constitution. It's something that they just slipped in practice because most of the founding fathers were Masons, and that's a Masonic principle.
Yeah, not many people know that. Just another side note, Jess, all 6 justices that voted for the end of Roe versus Wade, are you ready? They're all Catholic. See, we finally got our Catholic moment. I mean, I see presidents that are Catholic, they disappoint me. I've seen, Pelosi, disappointment, all this. Finally, 6 justices, all baptized Catholic.
Except one.
Which one?
One's an Episcopalian.
Episcopalian. Okay. That's right.
Gorsuch. He's an Anglican, High Church Anglican.
That's true. Good point.
On the other side, you have a fake Catholic,
Yeah.
The Hispanic justice.
Yeah.
You have a Breyer and the other Kagan. Kagan's Jewish,
Yeah.
and I forget what Breyer is. I think he's a Protestant.
Yeah.
So we have 5 baptized Catholics and one Protestant who towed the line based on natural law and based on divine law.
Yep.
And God's going to bless them for it because, they're taking some hits. You got some leftists in front of their houses that are threatening them right now. And so they're paying a price for it. But guess what, Terry? We all know that at the end.
A crown, baby.
Yeah. What are we shooting for? Are we shooting for a little Burger King crown? No, we're shooting for the crown of glory promised by Jesus Christ.
Amen. The Sacred Heart, baby, reigns. I love it.